Now, this is the Somaliization of Pakistan. On the left, you have Somalia. Somalia is like a figure 7 in the Horn of Africa. So you have towards the lower around Mogadishu is the main Somalia. That is the area where the writ of the Somali government runs. Above that is Puntland. Puntland, Somalia government's writ does not run.
Doesn't work. Hanji.
It is autonomous. Then there is a patch of disputed territory, and after that, north of Ethiopia, you have what is known as Somaliland. It is declared independent and it has its own governance on ground. Okay. When Siddi Bari was fighting in the 90s, these were
Yeah.
the people who went there.
So
Now you look on the others. Yeah.
This Puntland is where all the kachra happens, right?
No, Somaliland. And main Somalia में होता है पूरा कचरा. Somalia में the red runs, but there are all your ISIS and Al Qaeda and all those gangs are.
हाँ, वो तो sir, they are common public there, ना?
Yeah. So Puntland is autonomous, but the disputed area between Somalia, Puntland, and Somaliland is that disputed territory which is given there, जहाँ पे जो main लड़ाई वगैरह होता रहता है. And Somaliland it has not been recognized by other countries, but it runs its own government. And Somalian government, which is there around Mogadishu, has nothing to offer. When you look at Pakistan, Balochistan is equivalent to Puntland, almost achieving its autonomy. लड़ाई हो रही है, but उतना ज़्यादा कुछ हो नहीं रहा है पाक का वहाँ पे. If you look at KP or KPK or KP, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa area to the north, it is like Somaliland. They have declared their own governance. They have declared their own government. Is Pakistan able to do something there? I don't think so. Now you come to the GB area, Gilgit Baltistan area. This is akin to the disputed area. He wants to do something there. The Chinese also want to have a footprint there. The Shias there don't like the Sunnis who have come there. So this is turning out to be a sort of a disputed area which is there between Somaliland and Puntland. And that leaves you with Sindh, Punjab, and that balance of POK, the chota sa thread, where it still has a tenuous hold. Because the TTP still comes and hits in these areas.
So that is
Karachi,
the Somalia part of it.
This is the Somalia. So I would say that the way things are going, it is the Somaliization of Pakistan and not any Lebanonization or anything at the moment. At the moment. This is where it is going. How it changes on ground depends. Now, it's not good to have such a thing in your backyard. इथियोपिया केन्या तो NFA इथियोपिया पे तो डेजर्ट एरिया है, काफ़ी है, अंदर बाहर निकल के भी जाते हैं, कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता उनको. सो फॉर अस इट इज़ very critical how you defend your maritime and land borders against this kind of a threat which is evolving, because if it has a tenuous hold, what happens? And the most critical is what happens to its nuclear weapons.
Biggest question.
Okay. Yeah. And is the visit of IAEA and the US Deputy Assistant Secretary of State who visited there of South Asia, is something brewing, is something happening? And in such a situation which is there, it is really amazing to find that the Pak Army Chief is mum. He hasn't spoken. I haven't seen him speak at all.
Yeah,
What is...
Actually, I don't know what he sounds like.
Yeah, I haven't heard him speak at all. There's no speech of his anywhere.
That's interesting.
How is he, what does he look like? Because politicians, bureaucrats are NFA. Here we have to be clear, what does the Pak army think and what is his plan of action? How is he going to react to this? Can he react with the kind of economic travails that Pakistan is going through? It's easy to say that it will survive. Fine, it may survive, but in what shape and size? That's the question. So we have to look at our own options, what we can work with USA, what we need to, if we find something else which is better for our security, do we need, and US may not agree, how do we work with US to see that we get a secure area? So I'll show some options. Next, this is the option one. Take over the full Gilgit Baltistan. So balance POK, which is written as Azad Kashmir, is with Pakistan. Such an issue is seat once and for all, and we get the connectivity to Central Asian republics and Afghanistan. But caution, Gilgit Baltistan is critical for CPEC
Hmm.
and has presence of PLA because an entry of China into uh, Pakistan is through this region. So there would be some reaction from there. But the biggest problem for Pakistan now becomes its defense. Because earlier your offensives used to go into the river corridors. So he used to have the Jhelum Chenab corridor, the Ravi corridor, and all that. But that's all gone. Because the moment you come up, you just roll down on either side of Indus and you hit straight Islamabad. How does he defend? His canals and all, which he has built up, the natural defenses on his canals are all north south, so that the east to west offensive you get multiple obstacles.
But if you're
So
on
you have,
both sides of the Indus, that I didn't think about.
okay, now do you realize why the Britishers worked to give Gilgit Baltistan to the Pakistanis?
Yeah, this would have been suicide for Pakistan.
Yeah, the POK area was also engineered to be left with Pakistan. Otherwise, medium range में था Afghanistan. Islamabad was undefensible at that time. Islamabad तो था ही नहीं.
I
Rawalpindi था.
mean,
Rawalpindi was not defensible at all. And just outside Islamabad is their Kahuta.
लॉन्ग रेंज शेलिंग में ही मार देते आप उसको. Wow.
But at the moment, this may be acceptable to USA because the balance of POK, which the CIA fact book writes as Azad Kashmir, provides some depth to Islamabad and Rawalpindi, but from the north it doesn't. So, would the US be okay with GB being an independent state? But you got to look at the survival of this independent state. How does it survive? It's easy to say कि independent हो जाओ या एक portion तुम ले लो. It doesn't work. I would say go the whole hog and take over. Yeah, you may have a Sharia Afghanistan on your border. I think we should be able to manage it because Wakhan corridor is very poorly.
Man,
It, there's hardly any habitat out. So you will be able to work it out with them. And it, I'll tell you आगे चाइना का क्या वरी रहेगा. Okay, next. Next is ओए ये मैप हिल गया. Okay, we
oh,
take over the whole POK.
my apologies
That
for
means
that.
Gilgit Baltistan and what they have written as Azad Kashmir in CIA Fat Book. Everything in that mustard green is with you. So GB again is a problem because PLA will have issues on that, not on POK, balanced POK. Rivers of Pakistan again not a problem now. It becomes much worse because you can attack from right close to Islamabad, Rawalpindi. But would US accept it? Because after all, for so many decades, it has been a flunky of the US. And there are still a lot of people there who have soft corner for the Pakis. So how do you do? Because a lot of think tanks have these retired Pakistani officers who are part of that think tank, who act as if they are anti-establishment but work with the establishment. So they organize, you can say, uh, lectures and seminars to bring in the Pakistani point of view. We don't have much like that. They don't have, and even in they also have in UK and Germany quite a lot. That's how all these things come about, like that famous hunger index and others which came out
Mm-hmm.
from Germany.
अभी बीडम आया
They
ना.
had a no, but they had all those people who are working on that project from Pakistan. We don't have that. So if it is not acceptable to Pakistan, we to USA, we need to see how to go to work with them. I think this may not be acceptable to the US. Okay, next.
May I, sir,
Yeah,
just,
yeah, yeah.
you know, the strategic depth to Islamabad, जो आपने, I mean, you kind of put across here,
Yeah.
is interesting.
Not operational depth,
हाँ,
not
operation,
strategic.
ठीक है, sir.
Operational.
Now, I'm gonna try and find a map to superimpose on this right now as you go on to the next one, where we can actually see the G219 coming down, sir. The
Okay.
CPEC.
नहीं नहीं G219 तो अक्साई चीन से आ रहा है.
हाँ, वो ऊपर जाके नीचे आता है, जो काश्मीर से जो.
ये तो अक्साई चीन से जा रहा है. That is another one which comes through the Punjab pass.
जी. नाउ मेरे
That
को
is the
ये पूछना
Karakoram
है,
highway.
मेरे को ये पूछना है, सर, in this entire game, and ये आप please, you'll have to give us some insight on that. How does this game of the CPEC fit into this
That's
thing?
what I said. GB
Now,
is critical for CPEC because the Karakoram highway passes through GB.
हाँ जी. So now when we decide to do
Americans will
something,
be Americans will be very happy if you take over that area.
what about the Chinese, sir?
But you have to work towards that. I'll tell them. You have to work towards how you evict those Chinese from. These are not things which happen overnight. You have to
हाँ,
work towards that. I'll tell because this is the lesson which the Americans have also learned and how
sir,
they are doing it in Pakistan.
let's go, sir.
You not only take over POK, you take over Sindh also. So Pakistan is just a rump, West Punjab, landlocked. The green portion is what is left of Pakistan. So anyway, rivers not an obstacle. Defense of Pakistan is weak. It is because it is landlocked and is dependent on you for survival. The only major port it ever has, which it has even today, is Karachi. It
Karachi.
loses that. It loses that. There's nothing left. So, at one stroke, the complete relevance of Pakistan ends. There is no geostrategic relevance of Pakistan thereafter because Khyber Pakhtunkhwa would have gone to Afghanistan, and Balochistan would be a separate state in itself. Would you like to take over Balochistan? Or would you like Sindh and Balochistan to be independent states? These are the options you have to think about here.
जी.
Which, for me, this is the best solution. That Sindh should not be part of Pakistan. For all the follies and foibles and everything that it has brought into the world today, by doing what it is and being the font of terrorism, this will be the payback for it कि भाई साहब आप ये green लेके आप बैठ के खुश रहो. Remove all the nuclear weapons, defang it, and let him be happy. Thereafter, what does he? As it is, the who are able to run away from Pakistan are already emigrating, not visiting. Their trickle has started, it will turn into a flood. That's it. But would it be acceptable to USA? Because it's not about Pakistan, it's about you. You become very strong.
Yeah. That's very interesting, important.
Because they also know that if this happens, 30 years down the line, West Punjab will also merge with India. बंदे भाग जाएंगे वहां से, कुछ बचेगा नहीं वहां पे. It will merge with India, and then in the eastwards would be all yours, including Gilgit Baltistan, and you become very strong. So would it be acceptable to Pakistan? So while you may like this, I say my assessment, but you have to work it slowly, never be in a hurry. If this is what you want to achieve, work to achieve this over 70 to 100 years. आपको 8-10 साल के अंदर नहीं मिलेगा ये.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
स्टेप बाय स्टेप. सो पहला स्टेप है गिलगिट बाल्टिस्तान को ले लो पूरा. नॉट नो मिलिट्री ऑफेंसिव. आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग ऑफ एनी मिलिट्री ऑफेंसिव. What you take by force, you lose by force. Live by the sword, you'll die by the sword. So
True.
this has to be orchestrated through what the Chinese called the three warfares, and through their unrestricted warfare. You have to orchestrate these things. Can we go next?
Yes, sir. I just want to show this, sir,
Yeah,
which was my question.
yeah. That's what I said. No? This green patch, see,
Hmm.
the red one on top, the
That's
small
China.
patch in China, that is Xinjiang, Tashkorgan. That province is Tashkorgan. It's a Tajik predominant province. And the green portion is the one which is coming in, that you see is green and a little bit of red. That is all going through Gilgit Baltistan.
Ji.
In any case, this Karakoram highway was built in late 70s. हम तब चुपचाप रहे थे, कुछ नहीं किया. Okay. So that's why a lot of Chinese I had spoken to when I visited China were quite surprised that why are you doing it now? You never raised this issue in the 70s when we made this. ठीक है. उस वक्त तो उथल पुथल हो रहा था. Emergency हुआ, Indira Gandhi was toppled, then the other government was toppled, Janta government, and there was infighting in Janta government. So you are not looking at any of these things. See, when you have a climate of political uncertainty, then you don't look at these things outside that closely.
Mm, mm.
Okay. So, yeah, the moment you have taken all this away, all this goes. So, phase one, take create a situation where the Gilgit Baltistan Baltis themselves create a momentum to join up with you and be part of Greater Ladakh. That was what was Greater Ladakh. And so they become part of Greater Ladakh. They are Shias there, like we had discussed earlier. Kargil and all these places are all same stock,
Sure.
Shias.
Yes, sir. Mm.
And the Ladakhis, and they have been living in harmony. And
Centuries now.
yeah, for centuries they have been living in harmony. उनके तो आपस में शादियां भी होती रही है. So they are okay with each other. So you will have one whole Greater Ladakh available to you. Gilgit Baltistan would be part of Ladakh. And then you create something for Sindh. while working towards what you want to do for Balochistan and KP. हो गया
Hmm.
आपका काम, धीरे 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 धीरे। एंड वो धीमी आंच पे खाना पकाते हैं ना,
दम मार रहे हो।
दम नहीं। शिकार में जो जाते थे वो कहते थे कि खाना जो उनका मीट वगैरह बनता था वो धीमी आंच में 6-8 घंटे में बनता है। अभी जैसे यूपी में चले जाओ, हमारे भोपाल में भी दे यूज्ड टू मेक निहारी लेफ्ट ओवर मीट के साथ अर्ली मॉर्निंग
जी।
ब्रेकफास्ट के लिए। इट इज कुक्ड ऑन स्लो फायर थ्रू द नाइट यार।
हाँ।
बाय अर्ली मॉर्निंग जब पहला उनका अजान होता है, आई थिंक 4:30-5 o'clock, उसके बाद प्रेयर करके आते हैं, नमाज पढ़ के आते हैं और वो निहारी खाते हैं। तो वो इस स्लो आंच में पकाओ तो निहारी मिलेगी आपको। जल्दबाजी नहीं करना।
ये बड़ा एक चक्कर है, आई थिंक हम लोग ना थोड़ा सा इमोशनली वो हो जाते हैं कि थोड़ा। हाँ,
Never
हाँ,
be
हाँ।
hasty. Never be hasty. These things can never happen in a hurry.
Okay. Now a hypothetical, sir.
Yeah.
And guys, I'm just asking a question, huh? So please don't get angry at me कि ये कुछ दे रहा है and all that stuff. How about a sharing agreement in that area? Now you've got the CPEC,
Hmm.
that road. Let's take that
Yeah.
road as a divider of Gilgit Baltistan.
Why do you want to divide it?
I'm just asking, sir, because the reason is that way both
See,
the things.
the see why I say why the Afghans will also like it, because I'm saying that KP Khyber Pakhtunkhwa goes to them
जी,
through Ladakh, Greater Ladakh. You have direct connectivity to Afghanistan.
that is true.
सेंट्रल एशिया अफगानिस्तान, आई सेड, जैसे ही गिलगिट बाल्टिस्तान आपके पास आ गया, सेंट्रल एशिया अफगानिस्तान को आपको डायरेक्ट कनेक्टिविटी आ गई। दिल बी
And by the
हैप्पी।
way, I am not saying कि वो जो area पाकिस्तान में रहता है, no, I am talking about wherever it
नो नो,
goes. I mean,
आई एम सेइंग यू टेक इट द होल हॉग,
जी,
बिकॉज रोड के उस तरफ वाले जो शिया लोग हैं उन्होंने क्या गुनाह किया?
वो भी बात है।
Centuries of connectivity with Ladakh, which has been there for so many centuries, almost more than a millennia. Why do
हाँ,
you
हाँ,
want to break that?
ज़्यादा सर, ज़्यादा।
So why do you want to break that? Let it be together. And essentially, whatever we are giving into Afghanistan without recognizing them is for the people. It's a people's connect. खाना पीना जाता है, it's a people's connect. And that is the chota sa embassy staff which is there, which looks after
हाँ,
distribution to the people. Our program in Afghanistan has always been a bottom-up approach. Whatever the
जी,
provinces want, and then based on what the provinces have asked for, we give the money to conduct that. It's not a dole being given like the
हाँ,
Americans in the West do, a dole being given to the government. वो तो लपेट के खा जाएंगे पूरा। तो गिलगिट बाल्टिस्तान, now you have got to see how you're going to work it out with the Americans. If initial stage POK is not to be part of us, let it not be. Quietly work with them. Already work is on with them. Continue with that work. 8-10 साल के अंदर वो भी मर्ज हो जाएंगे आपके साथ कि हमें नहीं जीना वहां पे। After all, how long is Sayyid Salahuddin going to continue living?